Hello, Facebook world, YouTube land, and Instagram fam. Hope you're all going to join with us tonight. I have with me tonight, I have Jen, and she is from Diamonds and Whiskey. I love that name. How did you
Yes.
come up with that?
Well, honey, it's two of our favorite things.
Of course, of course. When I heard that, I was like, that has got to be the best name I've ever heard. I love it.
I do love it. It's really I came up with that name. I was on a boat with a bunch of friends and they were kind of describing me, and I tend to be very glamorous or not very glamorous, one or the other. There's no in between. I'm either all makeuped up in stiletto heels or I got my boots on and I'm dirty. I've been working on something. So I figured two very different things would be a good start. But everyone loves the name. It brands well. So
It does. Yeah, I would imagine that it has branded very well. It's a very catchy name. And like you say, most people love diamonds and whiskey, so that works.
absolutely.
Definitely works. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I was hooked before, of course, your name caught my attention. And then I listened to your music and I was hooked even more. So, yeah, you've got a good thing going. So before we get too far into this, we'll just go ahead and let you start off. We'll let everybody hear what you're all about,
All
and
right.
then we'll just chit chat some.
Okay. Well, I figure I will play Sugar Stick for you. We released this last month, I think, and it's sitting at number 2 on the Euro Academy of Country Music charts. So we're really excited about that.
All right.
Yeah, so I figure I'll do a little bit of this. This is the last song on our album, Sugar Stick. Let's see, where am I? There it is. I take one step for the thrill. I take 2 steps, it's overkill. I'm walking on the edge of love and hate. Fire and ice, I do believe that's the difference between you and me. I need so much more, but baby, it'll have to wait. Woo! Here we go. Well, have you got more talk than you do walk? When I said I stay, I gave my all. I'm swaying side to side between choice and faith. One day you're fine and the next you're not. It's freezing cold and I'm a burning hot. I can feel the hood sweat. Baby, I'll take the bait. Well, my mama says you're the devil's friend, but you're sugar on a stick. I wanna lick it clean. I wanna shout it out what I hold inside. Oh, I'm gonna tell them all. I'm gonna make a scene. Gonna show them all. I'm gonna make a scene. One man's not enough, but now 2, baby, that's too much. Bit off more than I could chew, and it's too late. Fire and ice, I do believe that's the difference between you and me. I need so much more, but baby, it'll have to wait. Well, my mama says you're the devil's friend, but you're sugar on a stick. I wanna lick it clean. I wanna shout it out what I hold inside. Oh, I'm gonna tell them all. I'm gonna make a scene. Gonna show them all. I'm gonna make a scene. Sugar Stick.
I love it.
You should hear a
Love
full
it.
band.
Love
It's
it.
much better when the appropriate person is playing guitar and got the fiddle and everything else. You got to hear the rockin' version.
Oh, I love who did I have on last night? Oh, Roger, we were talking about stripped down versions of songs, and a lot of times, not that I don't appreciate the full band, I do.
Right?
But a lot of times I just love to hear the stripped down version. So I appreciate it on this format that 9 times out of 10, it's either just with
Right.
the guitar or shoot, I wouldn't mind if somebody wanted to do acapella. I just love the pureness of that. It's almost like when you first wrote it, and you
Right.
just got the guitar with it. I love that. So, well, you have a fan. If you didn't before, you have a fan from Scotland.
Oh,
Got it once again. My friend Jovan, he is on from Scotland. He is a faithful fan of this show. So no matter who I have on, he comes on, he tunes in, and I think pretty much everybody I've had so far he's liked. So, but he's loving your song.
thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the comments on your side or not, but
I can't see them, but that's okay. I will read them hopefully after I can see them.
yeah, I'll tell you if anything great comes up. But you got quite a few remarks on that song, so that is a great song. Which I knew after I discovered you, and I found, well, I didn't discover you, but you know what I mean. After I came across you and your music, of course, listen to the songs that you had out on Spotify, and at that time, this was your latest release.
I got it. So you have heard it. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. So
It's a little dirty.
definitely love it.
Oh, good.
Definitely
It's playful.
love it. Yeah. I just hope, as long as my grandbabies don't ask me to explain the meaning of it, we're good. But
Right.
we'll interpret it a different way for them. But it's I love it. It's very catchy. It's definitely a song that makes you want to dance to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that.
That's a fun song. It's one of the first ones I wrote, and I actually at the time had written it for my husband because he drives. You ever met somebody that you just want to murder all the time, but you love them anyway? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah. They raise a lot of them in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, you ain't lying.
No offense to the good ones out there, but
Right.
Now Paige was telling me that you are from Charlotte. Are you originally from Charlotte, or you just lived there part of the time?
Well, see, my mom is from Charlotte. She grew up there. She's a native. But my dad's from a little town called Hildebrand, North Carolina, which is
No way.
And so that's where I'm really from. Huh?
I live in Taylorsville.
I was just in Taylorsville yesterday. No lie, my sister lives in Taylorsville.
Nobody's ever heard of Taylorsville.
Oh, I've been to Taylorsville many times, honey.
That is crazy. Small world. Oh my.
So I say I'm from Henry River because that's the exit that I grew up on, where the old mill is. Our land backs right to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you probably get the same reaction if you say Hildebrand. People are like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm surprised you knew what that was. So I'm really happy right now.
Yeah, of course. And that's crazy because my mom, well, she was actually born in Pembroke, but when she was about 16, moved to Charlotte. So she graduated high school from there, and then my uncle grew up there. So I spent a lot of time in Charlotte. We used to live there for a short time when I was a teenager. And people can have Charlotte. I'm sorry, I'm just not a city person.
Yeah, I lived there for many years because work was good. There you could make good money in Charlotte. That was the main reason. But yeah, I haven't lived in Charlotte in several years now. But I like the country. I grew up on 30 acres, so I enjoy that.
Oh yeah. I love the country. That's what I love about out here. I mean, we're just in the middle of nowhere. You know that since you know where it's at. But yeah, we're just in the middle of nowhere and have to drive 30 minutes to get anywhere for anything, just about. So yeah. I mean, life's good.
That's awesome.
I like to visit the city. It's fun, but I'm not one that I don't think I could live in the city.
Right. I've done it. It's different. There are good things about it. There's Starbucks nearby. I like that because I'm a coffee fiend. But otherwise, I prefer the quiet life. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Excuse me, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Wow. Let me get a drink. Lord, of course I'll start coughing when we get on here. Allergies have been terrible lately. Terrible.
Oh, it's really bad. I'm afraid to cough anywhere, though. I'm afraid people will think I've got the COVID. So,
I know, right? Yeah, it's got everybody so paranoid now.
Right.
Got to love Starbucks. Okay, Jovan, so there is Starbucks in Scotland too? Sweet.
Nice. I'll be over there. I'm coming.
Yeah. Starbucks everywhere. I told him Scotland was definitely on my bucket list, and if they've got Starbucks, then we're good.
Right.
I gotta have my coffee in the morning. Are you like that? You have to have your coffee in the morning, or you're just not like, don't speak to me till I have my coffee.
Oh yeah, I'm usually on coffee number 2 by the time everyone else gets up. I get up around 4:30 every day. So yeah, I'm an early bird.
Girl.
I got work to do. That's why our band is going as fast as we have. I think we haven't been a band that long, so I'm just been like hoofing it. So, but I love it. I like to work hard. I don't need much sleep. There's people like that just. I feel like if I sleep 8 hours, I feel sick almost. So it's too much for me.
Yeah, I think I probably sleep. If I get 4 hours a night, that's huge.
Right, that's me. I usually plan for 4. If I can get 4, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and I act like I'm shocked about you getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I'm a little bit reversed. I don't go to bed till about 2 or 3, and then I'm up at 7.
Oh, okay, it's the same.
So yeah, insomnia is terrible, and I just can't.
Right.
And then my mind is going, 1,000 different directions of, did I do this? Did I do that? Like going back through my day. Did I get everything done? And then what I didn't get done, it's running through my head for tomorrow. So yeah, sleep is just.
I feel like that's a sign of success though with a lot of people. I know people like that too. And they're pretty successful people though, but their brains are just always going, That's how I feel. It just never shuts off.
Yeah, mine doesn't. I wish I could make it shut off sometimes, but yeah, it just doesn't work that way.
Right.
Who is this showstopper? This is Jen from Diamonds and Whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
We should have had us a glass of whiskey while we were here.
Lord, honey, just want to be in the floor.
I was going to say, if you did that on every interview, you'd be in trouble.
I wish somebody would shower me with diamonds on every interview. That would be better.
Yeah, exactly. So with this COVID going on, y'all have not been able to get out and play that much. I know North Carolina is like in bad shape. Not a lot to open, but South Carolina a little bit more is open, right?
Yeah, so South Carolina is a little more open. It's weird because I live here and I hear people in other states talking bad about it because they see the case numbers, but we don't see it like what they see. I don't know. It's weird. I think a lot of it is, I don't get into politics, but I think a lot of this is crazy, whatever. So, but yeah, South Carolina's been open pretty much. So a lot of my friends that do like the coffee shops and bars and stuff like that, they're out playing, which is awesome. We are playing on the state fair circuit. So we play a lot of big festivals, a lot of state fairs, county fairs, bigger stage stuff. So we lost all of our gigs this summer. We were supporting Zach Brown, Darius Rucker, Diamond Rio, Chris Jansen. We had a lot of big shows that we lost. The only one that is that's held on is the South Dakota State Fair. It's in a few weeks, and we're still slotted to play that. So it looks like we're heading to South Dakota. So I'm going to get to play one show this year. It's a big one though, so hopefully. Yeah.
I know, it's so sad that all these people that have had shows booked, and then some of them even got rebooked, and now they're having to be booked again.
That's happened to us a few times.
Yeah. It's happened to my boss. He had a whole tour plan for the summer, and it got canceled, and then I think part of it is rescheduled for November. And, at this point, we don't know if we're going to get to do November or not. So everything is so up in the air, and I'm just so over it.
I think we all are. I don't know. It just seems like there's so much misinformation out there that it's hard to tell what's what. And so, being in a band, I don't comment one way or the other really, but I'm like Dolly. When people ask me about politics, I make a boob joke or something, but but of course I have my own opinions, and it seems like everything's a little crazy. So I'm ready for it to be over with.
Yeah, me too. And I have to kind of be the same way. I've said on here, I won't talk about politics or religion. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't believe in both of them. I do, but I'm not going to debate it with people.
Right.
Or, because some people can just get downright ugly about stuff like that. And I'm just not all about that. So I'd rather just keep it neutral. And yeah, I'll just have to start making jokes too.
Well, I think we could all use a little laughter in our lives right now.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's all just according to how you deal with it. I don't think anybody likes what's going on right now. Especially the kids with school. I mean, it's not just adults that had their lives turned upside down. The kids,
Right.
excuse me, now I've got the hiccups. The kids did as well. My youngest was a senior last year, so his was all flipped upside down, and then trying to go to college this year, it's all flipped upside down. So it's affected everybody, and we just have to make the best of it and
Right.
try to pick up from it and go. But most of the artists that I have talked to during this time, they have found that they have gotten an awful lot of songwriting done. Have you done that as well?
Yeah, so we are actually getting ready to be in pre-production for the album. I've got a whole new album coming out, and I've probably got songs for the next album after that. but yeah, we're really excited. The end of this month, we're going to start that. Yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, I plan to drop album after album, and we have, as you know, Heartbreak Queen out, which has done really well for our first album. And this album, I think, is going to, kick it on up a notch. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to we'll talk about your new release in a minute, but let's go back to just the album in general. Your first album, what was your inspiration for that one? Did it come from anywhere in particular, or did you just pick songs out of a catalog that you liked, or how'd that all come about for you?
Well, I wrote all the songs. They are the first 10 songs I've ever written in my life. So I didn't actually write a ton of songs and then put them on, pick which ones, or I didn't listen to other people's. And these are all songs about my life. So they're all stories.
Love that.
I've been through, or things I feel, or they're inspired by things in my life. So yeah, those are the first 10 songs I ever wrote, and I'm pretty proud of that. So Sugar Stick was one of those. I think Sugar Stick was number 7 that I wrote. So
wow, that is so cool. Rarely will artists take the first few songs that they've written.
Right.
I love that you did that with your first album. It's like, for real, a first.
It really is. I honestly didn't know I could write. That's the truth. Like, I had no idea I could write songs until 5 or 6 years ago. I just didn't know. And then all of a sudden, Whiskey Down is the first song I ever wrote in my life. I was crying about my boyfriend at the time not coming in till 3 a.m. He loved drinking more than he loved me. The story I tell when I'm out. So Whiskey Down is the first song I ever wrote. And then Wasted on Your Love. And then it just kind of snowballed, and I think Heartbreak Queen I actually wrote to a funk beat. Like, it's not even, the music wasn't even the same. So but yeah, I'm really proud of those 10 songs. So it's not a bad first.
I'm going to listen to them differently now, and it's so cool how when you can listen to a song and you don't know the story behind it, and then when you learn the story behind it, you listen to it a little bit differently.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's the beauty in it. So you get to interpret the song the way you want. And then when you learn the story, it's so funny. It happened to me not long ago. My favorite band in the whole world is Matchbox 20. And I love Rob Thomas. So I love 3 a.m., of course. And I didn't know what the song was about. I didn't interpret it, how he wrote it. But I just learned not long ago that was about his mom. Like, he wrote that as a teenager when she had cancer. And so you never know what is going through someone's mind. It's like Hero. People when they listen to the album, they think it's a breakup song. It's not actually at all. It's for my mom. So it's you never know what is going through someone's mind. But that's the beauty of music. That's how it connects us. We interpret it the way we want. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that initial time that you listen to a song, you with whatever's has either going on in your life presently, or has at some point in time went on in your life, that's how you connect to that song.
Right.
And then until you hear the artist's story behind it, then you're like, oh, okay, I didn't see that.
Right.
And it's kind of crazy. the guest I had on last night, I was telling him my interpretation of his song that he had out, and it was he never had that in his mind, and he was like, "Wow, I love that. That's what you got out of it." He said, even though that was nowhere near my intention, he was like, "I love that. That's what you got out of it."
Right.
And I was like, "Well, that's just the way way I took it." But yeah, I love listening to music and doing that. I love trying to figure out what the artist meant.
Right.
And a lot of times I'm right, and a lot of times I'm just way off. Way off. But I like make a game of it, trying to see if I can guess what they were thinking.
Right. Well,
That's
Sugar
what I
Stick's
love
pretty
about country
easy.
music. It is a story. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I said, well, Sugar Stick's pretty easy. So
Yeah. That one I got without any problem. Yeah, got that one. But yeah, that's what I love about country music. The songs are a story. And it gives you a chance as an artist, as a person, to let those emotions out and tell your story. Is very therapeutic.
Absolutely. That is my therapy. I think I had gotten in kind of a funk a few months ago because I wasn't writing and we weren't playing. If we're not playing, I'm just whew.
Yeah.
And so I've started going weekly into the studio, and my manager, Eddie Z, he owns the Playroom, which is a phenomenal studio in Charlotte. It's crazy the people that are recorded there, including Rob Thomas. But yeah, so I go by there now, and it's been so therapeutic for me just to sit. And he's got a Yamaha Grand, and I just sit and play. And I swear I leave there and I'm a different person. And
oh yeah.
So I realized I need that. Like I just have to have music in my life, and so that's been my help lately because I was really crawling in a hole there for a little while.
Yeah, I think everybody was during quarantine time in one way or another. And I have days like that where I'm just like drained and I think, oh God, I've got an interview tonight. I don't feel like doing it. And then I get on here and I'm like,
so glad I did this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have
I'm
to
the same
remind
way.
myself when I get in those slumps, I'm like, you're going to love it when you get on there because I love meeting new people. I love hearing y'all's stories. I love listening to your music. And that lifts me up. So that's therapeutic to me. I'm on the receiving end of it.
Well, we're so glad you're there because it's people like you that really help our music get out there. I feel that way about shows. Like I have Lyme disease, and it's chronic. So I've had it since I was like 12 years old, and I have been just deathly sick at points in my life. But I'm pretty run down a lot with it, and we'll go to play a show. Now, if you've watched any of our live clip or YouTube videos or whatever, I'm pretty in your face on stage. Yeah. So I'm like, I give it all I got while I'm up there. But so before the show, I'm like, I'm always so drained, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And then something happens when I step on stage and my adrenaline pumps. And for that time, like I don't have any pain. I'm not tired. And I just go till the end. And then as soon as it's over, they're usually helping me back out of the stage because it just all like
crazy how that is like that.
I know, but I love performing for that reason. I feel like for that hour or whatever it is, I don't feel any pain. I can be in stilettos the whole time and not feel pain. Like I'm just like so enthralled to be there. It's hard to explain that high to people that aren't musicians. Like it's like, I think a lot of musicians probably say this, but there's something about being on stage. It's incredible. Yeah.
I've heard many musicians say that, and I'm definitely not musically inclined. I'm on the not seen side of music except for this. But now Lyme's is an autoimmune disease, right?
Yep, it's an autoimmune disorder.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Trying to revert way back.
That's great that you knew that.
Well, I still am. I keep my license up, but I haven't practiced as a nurse since 2012. And the reason I can also understand your Lyme's disease is I have an autoimmune disorder. And a neurological disorder. They go together.
Mm-hmm.
And it wreaks havoc on your body very, very similarly to Lyme's.
Right.
So
there are so many that I get misdiagnosed.
Right.
Like I was misdiagnosed for 15 years with lupus, ALS, MS, Alzheimer's. My memory was gone. Like just gone. It's
Yeah.
still really bad. It's so funny. Like my band has to remind me of everything. Everyone has to remind me of everything. I'll say I'll call you back, and then I won't call you back because I forgot we talked. But, but my good friends know that it's not intentional. That I literally just don't remember what I did 5 minutes ago. But yeah, I feel
But
you.
yeah,
And
you can remember song after song after song after song.
my songs, yeah. But when it comes
Yeah.
to covers, woo, I struggle. Yeah, it's got to tell a story. So I pick songs that tell a story because then I can remember the story.
Yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, like I can't remember my own schedule to save my life, but yet I keep somebody else's.
Oh gosh.
And I keep their schedule perfectly. He don't never miss a thing. But my own stuff, I might forget it every day.
Oh wow.
I don't know. It's weird how the brain works. It's weird.
It is weird for sure.
Yeah.
I can't keep my schedule or anyone else's. I don't know if I'm coming or going. So, that's what I got Paige and Brandon for. You know?
Exactly. Well, it's a good thing that you have them to do that.
Right.
So who were some of your musical inspirations?
Oh gosh. Well, we already talked about Rob Thomas. Tori Amos. Huge fan of Tori Amos. Obviously, I grew up playing piano. I didn't grow up with radio or TV. We weren't allowed either. So I grew up playing hymns, and so that's where I learned to play and sing. But I, when I finally did get to listen to music, I loved Heart. Which you can probably tell that in our music because we're like a country heart. That's what people say.
Yeah.
Dolly, of course. I'm a huge Dolly fan. Like, oh, I can't say enough about her. And I loved Eminem. Like, I know that's random and weird, but I'll put on Eminem. People ask me this all the time. Like, what do you write to her? How do you write? I put Eminem in and I spit rhymes. That's how I write. So yeah, I don't know. It's all over the place. I like a little bit of everything, but I love the '90s. I love Alanis Morissette, Jewel. Just a lot of '90s music. I'm a big fan. I didn't discover it until after the '90s, but huge fan. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those strong women that can just belt out songs.
I feel like we're missing some of that. You know, I mean, you got like Carrie Underwood, which is great. I mean, she's got a great voice, but there's something about the Wynonas, you know, and which I'm really wanting to bring back. If you listen to our music, obviously,
I have been trying to figure out who you remind me of. Okay, and if you throw Wynonna into Heart, that's you.
Exactly. So that's what people tell me all the time, and that's it. So because I have the country twang in my voice, but it's still this really big vocal. So I don't know, and I have to scale it back a lot because sometimes I'll blow my voice out because I'm just like, you know. But,
who is the lead singer of Heart? Was it Pat Benatar?
No, it's the Wilsons.
Oh,
yeah, Anna Nancy are the Heart. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
but I love Pat Benatar.
Oh, I love her too. Yeah. She kept coming in my mind too.
Well, we do Heartbreaker a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got that strong, can be smooth but yet raspy voice at the same time.
Right.
So yeah, and when you kind of switched gears and I don't know what you call it. I'm not a musician, so I don't know what you call it technically. But when you switched gears and brought that out, I was like, oh, yes.
I tend to growl a little bit in our show.
Yeah.
We cover a lot of rock and roll. We cover AC/DC, REM. I mean, we cover a lot of stuff that most women don't cover. I love Melissa Etheridge. She's incredible.
You are naming some good ones.
Yeah. So when you come to our show, we do a lot of classic rock. We're not your modern country band. We'll play in a long slot of country bands, and we might be the only ones playing a lot of rock and roll. But I feel like it's a good break, you know.
Yeah, I like that.
And people love it. You know, country and rock go hand in hand typically. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And definitely the ones that you have named definitely can fall into that category. I mean, there's some that wouldn't fit or would be a strange fit, but like the ones that you have named, completely. Yeah.
Wow.
I love that. That's where your where your mind is going, and you want to bring back like the Winona country, because I mean that to me that was the best decade of country music.
I feel like it was the best decade for women in particular with your Reba, you know, I mean, you had these powerhouse singers then. I miss it so much. And I'm not knocking the women of country today, because I'm a huge Miranda Lambert fan, like huge. But she's like one of my favorites. But I think there's something to be said for the women of the 90s, and how I was actually reading a post the other day about how back then there were a lot of women charting versus now, you know, there's this whole stigma with, you know, women not getting played as much as men and that sort of thing, but women did their thing in the 90s, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's my thing. I just want to bring it, you know, whatever that is, you know, something different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I don't think you're going to have any trouble doing that. I told my husband before I was getting on to do the interview tonight, I was like, you know, I don't get the chance to interview that many women.
Right.
It seems like it is more men than women. And I was like, tonight it is a woman, and I am so happy.
But it's so funny because I'm not interviewed by many women. I did a podcast with produced by a girl, and I was excited because it was a woman, but 90% of the time it's a man on the other side, so I get really excited when it's a woman as well. Not that I don't like guys or anything, but it's nice because it's a different perspective, and I feel like we get each other a little bit, you know. So it's like cool.
And it's all about that women empowering women, you know, movement that we're in right now. And I love that because be careful the way I say this. There's some not so popular movements going on nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
That cause a lot of debate.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm glad that women empowering women do not cause that debate.
No. And it really, when I started this out, this is exactly what I wanted to do, was empower women. And I'm not 20 years old, you know, and I've been through quite a bit in my life. I have kids. I'm a workaholic. Like, you know, I feel like what I really wanted to do was tell women that aren't young anymore that you can still get out and do what you want to do. Like, you just have to work hard at it. And, you know, people ask me, oh, how do you do? I've got a 2-year-old daughter, you know, they're like, how do you do this? I take her to work. She's strapped on my back today at work. I mean, I do what I have to do. And then, you know, I take her to shows. You know, if you really want something bad enough, you'll make it happen. I believe that wholeheartedly. And I want other women to know that you can get up and kick every day in the butt. You know, you really can. So, and that's what Heartbreak Queen's about. That's, you know, so much of my music is just like I just want you to get up and get it. Hooks, for example. I wrote that for badass women. You know, I want you to feel yourself. Whatever you are, it's great. You don't have to be anybody else. No.
Absolutely. And for the little girls coming up that, you know, I want which my girls are grown, but I want my grandchildren to know just because you're a girl doesn't slow you down. You can do whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
You can kick butt and you can be whatever you want to do. Right. And, you know, and all of them for that matter, you know, all kids, not just little girls, but all kids, anybody, you know, nothing in this life should stop you from getting what you want and what you deserve.
Absolutely. I truly believe that only you can stop yourself from doing that. It's just all the decisions you make and how hard you want to work for it, and what's it worth to you, you know. Whatever it is you're doing, as long as you love it and you're not hurting anybody, I say go for it.
Absolutely. Yep. I hate to hear people say, oh, well, I had such a terrible childhood, or I had this or that, or, you know.
The victim mentality never works.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, mine wasn't that great either. And I had two choices. I could wallow in it, or I could do something about it.
Absolutely.
And you do something about it.
Right.
You know, and everybody has that same choice. So I don't know. We were getting way too close to some politics there. So let's get back onto music. If you could open for anybody that you wanted to, if you had a magic button that you could just press and voila, you're on tour opening for
Eric Church. I'm sorry.
No surprise there. No surprise.
I know that's probably a generic answer, but I love some Eric Church. Of course, he's from up there where we're from.
He's our neighbor. Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because he was playing around town. I remember when I was a teenager, and it's so funny hearing people talk about him then. I was like, whatever. And then, but he's playing CCMF this year. So I'm so proud, Carolina Country Music Fest, that our name is on the same flyer with Eric Church. And I'm just like freaking out over it. So yeah, that got postponed to September, and now it's postponed to June, but we are still playing the main stage on Saturday next year. So I'm really excited. But Eric Church is playing that on the same stage. So hopefully maybe I'll get to run into him. Yeah. But what I love about him is stellar songwriting. Every album he puts out is just phenomenal. I mean, there's not that pandering country. Do you know what I mean? It's not the bro country that I feel. I mean, not saying I don't like some bro country occasionally, because I do, but there's something about Eric Church. And then when he came out with Stick That in Your Country song not long ago, that new song he's got out, oh man. I mean, it must have been on repeat like every day for a while, because just listening to the way Jay Joyce produces and my guitarist turned me on to Jay Joyce being his producer and understanding a lot of that. And it's amazing what they do. But yeah, Eric Church all day long.
Oh yeah. I can't fault that answer right there at all. Cannot. Yeah. I remember going to see him at the fairgrounds in Lenoir, and like when he was, just Eric Church, not anybody yet. And and then he just like blew up.
Right. And see, a lot of these bands did the fair circuit like we are. So I saw Sugarland at the Hickory Fair right before they blew up. And so us getting onto the fair circuit this past year, our booking agent, Liz Gregory, she's in Nashville, but she took us and showcased us, and, people loved it. So we got booked all across the country at all these big fairs. And so that's been huge for our fan base, growing that. So when I think back to all the bands that I've seen at fairs, and I'm like, maybe it'll happen for us too. But it's pretty cool when you get to meet those artists at things like that, and then years later you see them at arenas.
Oh yeah. And you're like, okay, well, they did it, and I'm taking the exact same path. Am I going to make it too? Yeah. Well, of course. And that's the goal for everybody. So, yeah. Well, I can't wait to see y'all someday in person. I'm sure that will happen because you're so close to me. If we ever get back to playing live again, like everywhere instead of just random places here and there. But are y'all getting very many shows right now?
Oh yeah, we're already booked it. Starting at, I think, in April next year. So yeah, our summer is booking up because we had a lot of these fairs rebook us for next year, and then the venues are rebooking us, and so we're getting our tour schedule basically back to the same as it was, except it's probably going to be bigger. We're trying to squeeze more in, obviously, now that we've got so much music out, and we're getting ready to drop a new album, which is going to get a lot more push behind it now that we're working with other people. And so this first album didn't really have a lot of push behind it, so I'm just grateful it's charting. And, I think there's 4 or 5 different songs charting in different places all over the world. So that's kind of exciting. But yeah, so I'm excited to see what the next album does. But we're probably going to head overseas at some point because we're getting a lot of play in the UK and Italy, Norway, and then New Zealand. Muddy Water has been requested 37,000 times on the radio. Actually, 42. I went up, but yeah.
Right.
So when they allow us to travel, we're probably going to be hitting some tour dates over there.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's, I don't know, maybe it's not, but I would think that's like the ultimate goal is to get to go overseas and play.
Yeah. Oh, our fan base there is so great too. People really love to listen to new music. I would say America's like actually really hard to break into because it's so saturated with country artists in particular. And I'm not saying that overseas it's not too, but the fact that we are a little more rock and roll really does it for them. So
Yeah.
so I love it. We're getting a lot of UK play and a lot of podcast interviews coming out of the United Kingdom, promoters, stuff like that. So it's exciting.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Jovan said, definitely going to look you up on Spotify after this interview.
Thank you. You'll love it.
He's
There's plenty
loving
on
this
there.
conversation. Thank you, Jovan. You're so nice. I'm telling you, he's on here all the time. And I can count on, if I don't have anybody else watching, I can count on him to watch. And then I guess your booking agent, Liz, she's on here as well.
Yep,
She said,
Mama
you're
Liz.
such a hard worker and does whatever is asked of you.
I do. She knows I drug my band all around this country for her. I love her. Yeah, she's amazing. And she showed us the money. I'll say that. Like, you know, when she picked me up, I was at CMA Fest when I met her, and I was really green. I mean, I just didn't know what I was doing. And Liz is like, I got you. So we signed on with her and she showed us off, and it's great. You know, having a fiddle in the band's really good, but when you have a fiery redhead playing fiddle, that's insane. It makes a difference. It's really important for me to have another female with me. I really wanted to push that. So I think that makes us a little different too. But then the big vocal and our music's more rock, you know, so it just stands out. So it's worked out well. Thank you, Liz.
So who all do you have in your band? Like, or what instruments? You can say their names if you want to give them a shout out. That's fine.
And yeah, no. So of course we have some players rotate in and out like most bands. But I have two staples in my band. Brandon Lambert, who plays guitar and bass. And then my drummer, Chrissy's been with me for about 3 years now. And those guys have, you know, been with the band pretty much from the get-go. And then Kat McDonald, she's our fiddle player. She lives in Nashville. She plays mandolin, bass, and piano. She's amazing. Wow. Graduated from Berkeley. She's going to Belmont to get her master's now. She's like, I'm telling you, this girl is insanely talented. And then Adam Carter, he's in Nashville too. He's been playing guitar for us or played lead for us. He played on this recent track, Keep On, Keep It On. He's a local South Carolina boy actually, but moved to Nashville. Phenomenal talent. So he's been playing guitar with us. So yeah, we've got some great people playing in the band right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I love that you wanted to be sure to have another female in the band. I like that you know, for multiple different reasons, but just to give another female a shot at it.
Absolutely. And it had to be a certain type of woman, because Elena Gentry now, she got married. So she just recently left the band, but that's who played fiddle on the record and who was with us. If you see our videos, she's the fiery redhead. We now have another fiery redhead, but it's got to be someone that's confident, that's strong, you know, that owns the stage. I can't tell you how many people I see stand on stage and they're so meek, and that's okay. I used to be that, trust me, I did. But for our type of music and what we're doing, I need her to be fierce, you know, and Kat definitely brings that. She's just cute as all get out and so talented. So we're really excited. She just joined us not long ago. So super excited to have her.
Awesome. Yeah. I look forward to seeing y'all out and about and hearing more music from you and just getting to know, you know, you and your band and how just see your concert. I would love that. So I'm just so ready for live music to get back on full swing so we can get back out here and enjoy it once again, and y'all can enjoy performing. I know all of you guys are missing it badly too.
Oh yeah.
But I guess we will hear one more song from you.
Yeah, I guess I can do that. I'm wondering if Brandon's watching me. I always get nervous when I'm playing guitar because I know he's like, you didn't hit that right. So it's so funny. I play a little bass, and so when I'm on stage, sometimes I'll switch instruments. My manager doesn't like it, but I think a woman looks good holding the bass. But I will tell you, I stink at it. Like, but I don't even know if people notice if I'm hitting the right notes or not. They should just unplug me and let me just stand there.
Use it as a prompt.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So I think I'll play you a little bit of Whiskey Down.
All right.
I'll give you a couple of verses. If I can remember, I play my own song. tomorrow, when the hate has left your eyes, you'll find the bottom of a bottle, become what I despise. Will I leave you here, nothing clear but the pain in my heart? Before I've even left the room, I know you'll have to stop. Drink your whiskey down. Drink your whiskey down. I'm not begged to borrow the things you promised me. Left me nothing but sorrow. The thought of what can I be? When you're all alone, you ain't your desperate mind. Your heart grows old, your hands grow cold at the bottom. Fine, drink up, whiskey down. Drink up, whiskey down. Drink up, drink up, drink up, whiskey down. And there you go.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a powerful voice.
Oh, gosh. You got to come to a show, girl.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, we were headlining Prohibition Fest in Wilkesboro. I don't know if you've ever been to that. It's a big festival up there. But they've, again, moved it to next year. But maybe then.
Oh, I know. I'm so tired of hearing, oh, it was canceled. It was canceled. It was, oh,
I know. I'm numb to it now.
Just not be canceled.
Right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. I have had a blast. It's so nice to finally meet you and hear your beautiful voice. My God, you do so much remind me of Wynonna.
Thank you.
That is such a compliment. I love that woman. I can't wait to get out there and hear y'all. So, and I love that you're so close to me. I'm always so upset that I'm like not in Nashville because I don't get to hear everybody that I typically interview because they're usually all in Nashville. Right. And when Paige and I were emailing back and forth and she said that y'all were from Charlotte, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Finally, somebody close to me.
Well, I'm trying to be a little different. So while I like Nashville a lot, I don't necessarily want to be the Nashville sound just because there's so much of it. But I love it. I'm just trying to set myself apart. And I'm proud to be from the Carolinas. A lot of good artists come out of the Carolinas.
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, we are where Eric Church is from.
And Luke Combs, yeah.
And Luke Combs. And there's been, of course, my brain is not thinking right now, but a lot from North and South Carolina.
Oh, so many. I was at the Playroom, which I was talking about the other day, and I ran into Fantasia Barrino. You remember Fantasia? She won American Idol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she records at the Playroom a lot and rehearses and stuff. And God, what an amazing voice. But so many great singers, especially coming from North Carolina. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, now you mentioned her, my brain went a little bit. Like so many American Idol people from North Carolina and South Carolina. I mean, Scotty McCreery. Yep. And then, what was his name? Clay Aiken.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He didn't end up doing much, did he? But
He's
I mean,
they're a lot richer than me. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'd say he didn't end up doing much, but he, for a while he did a lot. But yeah, a lot of good artists out of, and not just North and South Carolina, but then Georgia too.
Oh, I mean, Zach Brown and Jason Aldean. There's so many people from around here, but we are the South, and
exactly,
we love our country and our rock. So
exactly. Well, I would love to have you back on anytime that you want to. You just hit me up, let me know. You are very welcome, Liz. Liz said thank you for interviewing Jen. No problem. I enjoyed it so much. Love when I can have other women on here as well. Nothing against the men. Love y'all, but it's just the women empowerment thing. Yep. Exactly.
Well, thank you
Exactly.
for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been fun, and we'll keep in touch, especially since we're in similar areas.
We are neighbors. Yes, we are not far from each other. It's so crazy. We both live, or I live in, and you part-time live in, towns that you think nobody has ever heard of, and we're like, what, 30 minutes apart from each other?
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Makes me just love you that much more. So I am definitely a forever fan now, and I can't wait to meet you in person. Thank you again for coming on. I so much enjoyed it. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Paige. Thank y'all. And thank you, Facebook, YouTube. My brain just went blank for a minute. And Instagram people, for those that tuned in watching it. Jovan, thank you so much. You're here all the time. I appreciate it. And for everybody that's going to watch it later, you better be glad you watched the replay. Blah, but that didn't even come out right. Should have been here live, but at least watch the replay. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night and a good weekend. Bye-bye.